All right, so we're going to tackle something that can be kind of scary for anybody. Job interviews.
Yeah.
And we're going to focus on a specific role.
Okay.
Drill press operator.
Right.
Now we're diving deep into RoleCatcher's guides to help you nail that interview.
Okay.
And we'll be spending a lot of time focusing on those tough questions that they might throw at you.
Right.
So think of this as your practice run.
Okay, cool.
So, being a drill press operator,
Right.
it's more than just pushing some buttons.
It is, yeah.
You're the one who's making sure those holes are drilled absolutely perfectly.
Exactly.
You're working with these really tight tolerances.
Yeah.
And, of course,
Uh-huh.
you're making sure everything's safe and up to standard.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's jump right in to the interview guide's sample questions.
Sounds good.
First one.
Okay.
Describe your experience operating a drill press. Seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But how can you make an answer that really stands out?
Well, you're right. It seems straightforward, but you got to go beyond just like listing out the types of drill presses you've used.
Right.
Instead, think about specific projects or challenges that you faced.
Yeah.
Did you have to work with like unusual materials
Okay.
or really, really tight tolerances?
Mm-hmm.
Did you find ways to improve efficiency
Yeah.
or accuracy in the process?
Okay.
Those details are going to make your experience come alive for that person who's interviewing you.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's all about showcasing your skills in action,
Uh-huh.
not just saying you have them.
Yeah.
Now, what if someone doesn't have like a ton of direct experience with the drill press?
Yeah.
Should they just be upfront about it?
I think honesty is always good, but don't count yourself out.
Right.
You got to think about those transferable skills you picked up from other jobs.
Okay.
So have
Yeah.
you operated other machinery?
Okay.
Are you comfortable working with like measurements or technical drawings? Even experience in a fast-paced production environment could be relevant.
Okay.
It's about like connecting the dots for the interviewer
Right.
and showing them how those skills can translate to this role.
That makes a lot of sense.
Uh-huh.
Let's say you get asked this.
Okay.
How do you ensure precision and accuracy
So,
when drilling holes?
okay.
This one feels a bit more technical.
Yeah.
Where should you even begin?
This is where you really get to show off what you know.
Okay.
Start by explaining your process step by step.
Okay.
So how do you set up the drill press?
Okay.
How do you double check those measurements?
Yeah.
What techniques do you use to maintain control during that drilling process? Don't be afraid to get into the nitty-gritty.
So mentioning things like using a center punch,
Yeah.
adjusting the feed rate,
Uh-huh.
or even like regularly inspecting the drill bit for wear and tear,
Yes.
that would show them, your stuff.
Exactly. The interviewer wants to see that you understand the importance of every single step.
Right.
And that you're not cutting corners when it comes to accuracy.
Speaking of knowing your stuff,
Yeah.
RoleCatcher's AI
Yeah.
can be a huge help when you're prepping for these technical questions.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's amazing what it can do.
So it can analyze the specific job description you're applying for,
Yeah.
and then it can pinpoint any key skills or knowledge areas that you might want to brush up on.
It's like having this personalized study guide tailored to that exact job.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Takes all the guesswork out of preparing.
Exactly.
All right, back to those interview questions.
Okay.
Let's tackle one that might be a bit trickier.
All right.
Can you describe a time you had to troubleshoot a problem with a drill press?
Okay.
Now, this one isn't just about your technical skills.
You're right. It's not just about technical skills.
Right.
This question is getting at your problem-solving abilities.
Yeah.
They want to see that you can stay calm when things get tough.
Right.
Think critically and come up with solutions when things go wrong.
Yeah.
Remember that STAR method we were talking about?
Yeah.
This is like the perfect time to use it.
Okay, so walk me through how you would use the STAR method to answer this question.
Sure.
I'm sure our listeners are dying to hear a concrete example.
All right, so let's say the drill press is making a weird noise.
Okay.
And it's drilling like holes that are all different sizes.
Okay.
That's your situation.
Okay.
Your task is to figure out what is wrong and then fix it.
Right.
The action you take might involve like looking over the machine, checking all the settings, maybe even looking at the manual, or going to a more experienced colleague for help.
Yeah.
And the result would be how you were able to fix the issue.
Okay.
And get that drill press working like new again.
That makes the STAR method so much clearer.
Yeah.
It's like you're telling a mini story about your problem-solving skills.
Exactly.
Now, could there be follow-up questions to this?
Oh, definitely.
Like what?
The interviewer might ask, what was the most challenging troubleshooting experience you've ever had.
Okay.
Or what resources do you rely on when you're trying to troubleshoot something?
Right.
These follow-up questions are your chance to show off even more of your expertise and your willingness to learn.
Yeah.
They might even ask you about safety protocols.
Okay.
Like, what safety precautions did you take while you were troubleshooting?
Sounds like they really want to make sure that you're thinking about safety every step of the way. And the career guide actually emphasizes that too.
It does.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
It mentions that drill press operators often work in environments where there are potential hazards, things like noise dust on all this moving machinery.
Right.
So showing the interviewer that you're putting safety first is really key.
It's huge. Absolutely. It's super important.
Okay, so besides, wearing the obvious safety gear, like glasses and ear protection, what else should someone bring up in their answer?
You want to show that you're proactive about safety.
Okay.
Do you, check the equipment every time before you use it?
Right.
Looking for anything that's broken or worn out?
Yeah.
Do you keep your work area clean so there's no tripping hazards? Do you follow lockout, tagout procedures? Like, you really follow them to the letter? These are the things that show you go above and beyond. You're not just doing the bare minimum.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's about protecting yourself, but also being aware of what's around you.
Exactly.
And how your actions could affect other people.
Yes.
Now, the career guide, it also mentioned working with supervisors and other team members.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. And that brings us to another big question.
Okay.
Can you work independently and as part of a team?
Okay.
This one seems simple.
Right.
But it's about finding that balance.
Yeah.
Between being able to get things done on your own and being a good team player.
So how can someone answer this?
Yeah.
Without it sounding super generic.
Right.
Like everyone says they're a team player.
Everyone does.
Right.
Don't just say it. Show it.
Okay.
Give them specific examples.
Yeah.
Talk about a time when you nailed a project all on your own.
Okay.
Highlighting your initiative and your problem-solving skills.
Right.
Then you balance that with an example of when you worked really well with the team.
Okay.
Emphasizing your communication and cooperation skills.
So maybe talk about a time when you took the lead on a really complex drilling task. Like you figured out the best way to do it.
Right.
And you just executed it perfectly.
Yeah.
And then maybe mention a time when you had to work closely with an engineer.
Okay.
To tweak a design.
Yeah.
Based on what you were seeing on the shop floor.
Exactly. Those are perfect examples.
Okay.
They show off what you can do by yourself.
Yeah.
And how well you can work with others.
And here's a little tip.
Okay.
RoleCatcher's AI can help you make your answers fit specific companies.
Yeah.
And job descriptions.
It's true.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot about that feature.
It's a good one.
So it analyzes the job posting.
Right.
And then it suggests ways to emphasize certain skills.
Yes.
Based on what the company is looking for.
Exactly. It's like having a cheat sheet.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, let's tackle another question.
Okay.
That a lot of people don't like.
Yeah.
What are your salary expectations?
Oh, yeah.
This one always makes me nervous.
I know. It can be tricky.
It feels like a trap.
It kind of does.
Any advice on how to handle it?
The key is being prepared.
Okay.
And doing your research.
Right.
First, you want to check the salary range in the career guide.
Okay.
That gives you a general idea of what drill press operators typically make in your area.
Okay.
You can also look at those websites that compare salaries to gather even more information.
Then you got to think about your own experience and qualifications.
Okay.
Like if you have specific skills or certifications, you might be able to ask for more towards the higher end of that range.
That makes sense.
And don't be afraid to negotiate.
Okay.
You could say something like, I'm flexible and I'm happy to discuss salary based on the whole compensation package and the specific responsibilities of the role.
That's a great way to put it. Now, we've covered a lot on technical questions and behavioral questions. What about questions that are more about your career goals and where you see yourself going? Like, what about this one? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
This is where the career guide can really come in handy.
Okay.
It talks about different career paths for drill press operators.
Right.
You could specialize in certain types of drilling.
Okay.
You could move into a supervisory role. Yeah. So the listener could talk about their interest in pursuing more advanced certifications, becoming like a team lead.
Right.
Maybe even exploring other parts of manufacturing.
Exactly. It's all about showing the interviewer you're ambitious.
Right.
That you're eager to learn, and that you see this role as more than just a job.
Right.
It's like a stepping stone to a great career.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about showing them who you want to be and how you're going to help them succeed.
Yes.
In the long run.
Exactly.
Okay, before we finish up,
I
want to touch on one more question.
Okay.
That often comes at the end.
Right.
Do you have any questions for us?
Oh, yeah, this is a good one.
This is such a great opportunity to show them you're really interested in the company and the role. But don't ask just any questions.
Right.
Ask questions that are specific.
Yeah.
And that show you're really thinking. So instead of asking about benefits or vacation time,
right,
which you can always talk about later,
yeah,
you should focus on things that show you've done your homework and that you're thinking critically about the job.
Yes. So you could ask about the company's safety training program or about opportunities for professional development. You could even ask about the types of projects you'd be working on.
Right.
Those are all great questions.
And what about asking about the company culture?
Yeah.
Or the team you'd be working with?
That's a good one, too.
It shows you care about more than just the technical stuff.
Exactly. You could ask, what's the team dynamic like? Or what are the chances for cross-training and learning new skills?
Yeah.
Those questions give you valuable information about the company, and they help you decide if it's the right place for you.
Right.
Remember, an interview is a two-way street.
Yeah.
You're checking them out.
Right.
Just like they're checking you out.
That's such an important point.
It is.
We get so caught up in trying to impress them that we forget we have a choice, too. It's so true. You know, we got to remember that.
Yeah.
Now, before we wrap things up,
I
want to talk about one more question
All right.
that might come up.
Okay.
This. How do you stay updated
with
like industry trends and new technology related to the drill press?
Right.
This one could be kind of scary.
It can.
Especially in a field that's changing all the time.
It's always evolving.
So what's the best way to answer this one?
Well, you want to show them that you're always learning, that you're passionate about what you do.
Okay.
You could talk about any professional development courses or certifications you've gotten, even online stuff like industry forums or blogs.
Yeah.
Shows you're really trying to stay ahead of the game.
So if someone's reading trade publications or following like experts in machining and manufacturing on social media, that's something to mention.
Absolutely. It shows you're interested and that you want to keep learning. You could even mention like specific new technologies that you're excited about, like CNC machining or how robots are being used more and more in manufacturing.
Those are great points.
Yeah.
All right. So as we're wrapping up our deep dive into acing that drill press operator interview, let's recap.
Okay.
What are the most important things for our listeners to remember?
Okay. First of all, practice your answers.
Yeah.
Use the STAR method to organize your responses. Highlight specific examples of situations, tasks, actions, and results.
And don't forget to tailor those answers to each question. And company RoleCatcher's AI can be so helpful for this.
It really can.
It helps you fine-tune everything and emphasize the right skills.
Exactly.
Don't be shy about showing off what you know and your passion for this field. Talk about specific techniques.
Tools. And new advancements.
Yeah, to show off your expertise.
And always emphasize safety.
Yes, safety first.
Show them that you're serious about keeping everyone safe at work.
You got it. And one last thing.
Yeah.
Don't forget to ask those thoughtful questions.
Yes.
At the end of the interview, shows you're really engaged and that you really want this job.
Exactly.
I think we've given our listener everything they need.
I think so, too.
To really nail that interview.
Yeah.
Any final words of wisdom?
Just relax.
Yeah.
Be yourself. Let your skills shine through and let them see how excited you are.
Right.
You got this.
We're rooting for you. Good luck with your interview. And remember, RoleCatcher is here to help.
Every step of the way.